Hey friends, quick update for you. Everything's going great on the campaign trail. Continue to rock along and grow. The momentum's there. Facebook supporters is growing. We've had events out in Odessa, out in East Texas, Houston, Dallas, all over the place, and just continues to be very, very positive. And appreciate your support and helping to make that happen. Want to encourage you to get registered to vote if you have not already. February 1st is the deadline, so make sure you get registered in January. If you've moved the last year or so, make sure that you get a new registration card and that they have you registered at the right address. In fact, if you would send out a Facebook message or an email message to your Texas folks and make sure they get registered, that would certainly help us. Because after February 1st, of course, we'll continue to campaign, but if someone hasn't already registered, there's no way for them to help us on March 2nd in the election. So register to vote. We have links at the website that'll help you find out where to do that. rickgreen2010.com. I want to kind of take a break from the campaign this week to talk about something exciting that's coming up next week. And to kind of introduce you to that, I want to share with you three quick, easy read books that we have all of our Patriot Academy students read, that I encourage everyone to read if you really love freedom. The Road to Serfdom by Hayek, fantastic read. It'll scare the dickens out of you when you look at what's happening in Washington, D.C. right now, and you'll see that we're headed down that road. But fantastic read. You can get that from Heritage Foundation. You could also want to read The Law. All of these, by the way, you can get all the text online. The Law by Bastiat. This one, again, is one of the best arguments for how the system ought to work. And again, after reading it, you'll recognize the places where we're taking the wrong steps. And then the last one, the one I want to talk about today, is actually a letter that Martin Luther King Jr. wrote from the Birmingham jail. And you can get a bound copy of this from Providence Forum online. So just do a search for Providence Forum. And you can also, if you just type in MLK Birmingham jail, you can get the entire text of this letter. One of the most powerful things ever written in American history. He makes such a succinct argument for why their stance was right, why they were doing it the right way peaceably. And I just want to read you one section out of it very quickly, and it's the part where he talks about people that had been calling him an extremist. He said, "But though I was initially disappointed at being categorized as an extremist, as I continued to think about the matter, I gradually gained a measure of satisfaction from the label. Was not Jesus an extremist for love? Love your enemies. Bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you. Was not Amos an extremist for justice? Let justice roll down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream." Can't you hear MLK saying that from the pulpit? I had the privilege once, the honor of actually having lunch with Alveda King, the niece of Martin Luther King Jr., and she would talk about how her father and Uncle Martin, as she called him, were known as the Sons of Thunder. Man, they could bring the heat on Sunday morning. He went on to say, "Was not Paul an extremist for the Christian gospel? I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Jesus. Was not Martin Luther an extremist? Here I stand, I cannot do otherwise, so help me God. And John Bunyan, I will stay in jail to the end of my days before I make a butchery of my conscience. And Abraham Lincoln, this nation cannot survive half slave and half free. Thomas Jefferson, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal." So the question is not whether we will be extremists, but what kind of extremist we will be. Will we be extremists for hate or for love? Will we be extremists for the preservation of injustice or for the extension of justice? In that dramatic scene on Calvary's Hill, three men were crucified. We must never forget that all three were crucified for the same crime, the crime of extremism. Two were extremists for immorality and thus fell below their environment. The other, Jesus Christ, was an extremist for love, truth, and goodness, and thereby rose above his environment. Perhaps the South, the nation, and the world are in dire need of creative extremists. Just a small part of the letter. Part of what amazes me about this letter, he did this in jail with no books, no reference points, did it all from memory. He goes on right after that paragraph right there and basically lambasts the church for not stepping up for righteousness, for ignoring the injustices in our culture. Everything he says in this letter about that could be said about many facets of our church today, for not standing up for standing up against injustice today and standing up for life, that inalienable right of life. And that's the culture war we face today. I firmly believe if Martin Luther King Jr. were alive today, he would be participating in the pro-life movement in a strong way. And I think it's totally appropriate that this Monday on MLK Day, there's going to be a great rally in Houston. I encourage you to take part in that. If you're anywhere around Houston, you can go to boundforlife.com and find out more about the details. But I think it's a great way to honor Martin Luther King Jr. and participate in this wonderful rally that they're going to have to stand up for life. Those of you that are in Central Texas, well, actually from all over Texas, we got people coming in from all over. On January 23rd, Saturday the 23rd, we're going to have a wonderful rally at the state capitol. It's the Texas Rally for campaignforlife.org is the website. You can find out more details. Our whole campaign team's going to be out there. We got friends and family coming in from all over. We hope that you'll participate in that with us as well. I know I've kind of deviated from the campaign a little bit today, but I think Alveda King says it right. She said, "How can the dream live as long as we kill our children?" This is a serious fight, friends. It's more important. This campaign for life is more important than any political campaign that we're involved in right now or that we will be in the future. And so I hope you'll be a part of this with us. Visit our website today, and we'll have links to the two addresses that I gave you, rickgreen2010.com. As always, share on Facebook. Make sure that you're sending out your Facebook messages and encouraging people to join us there. We're up to about 4,000 supporters on Facebook, well ahead of all of our competition, thanks to you. So God bless you. Have a great week. Look forward to giving you another update in a few days.